What's in my book? Presented by our sponsors. Sign up today, mybookie.ag. Use our promo code BENCH, BENCH, and you'll double your first deposit. Also, we mentioned in our read, if you use your referral code that you get after you sign up with your account, you can get up to a 250% bonus on that initial first deposit plus whatever you double. So great chance to start with a leg up when you bet with MyBookie. We got some good betting lines here. We'll also do your Ride the Slope. We have UFC 268, and there's a few big...
huge fights. This is a great card, honestly.
Also, there's a boxing match. I know that we're a little bit down on boxing, but I like this one a lot. So let's get into it. What you got for your first line here?
First one, I'm taking Jets plus 10.5 against the Colts. That hurt. I know it's weird to say. I don't think the Colts can blow anyone out because of their running game. I think it's the game where Jets come back to recover, plus 10.5, and they got a good chance of that. But I don't think the Colts are a 10.5 point favorite. Considering what the Jets did last week, I know maybe a fluke game.
They were a 10-point underdog.
They were 11.5 at 1 point.
I got it at 10.
But I think it's very tough to beat a team by 10.5 points, especially the way the Colts play with a good hard running game. It's going to be a very low scoring game. I think the over-under was like 36 or something stupid like that. So they're expecting that. But plus 10.5, I think the Jets may be able to cover that.
Yeah, Carson Wentz is liable to throw a pick late, and they'll probably score on that too. My first one, Bama's plus 275 to win the national championship. If you're a Bama fan, this is probably one of the first times in a while that you've had positive, at least this positive.
This late in the season, yeah.
This late in the season to where you know that this team, all they have to do is stay focused. If they stay focused, they'll get through. I think they have a good chance to maybe. I want to see them play Georgia. I want to see how they stack up against that defense. I want to see Bryce Young have to face some adversity. But if you like their chances and you think that they're going to come through this SEC championship, plus 275 is probably as good odds that you can think of having in November for Alabama in quite some time.
What is? I'm guessing Georgia probably is the favorite right now.
Georgia's the betting favorite. They're also the only one. I think Bama's the first positive odds. Georgia is
they have Oklahoma minus 2?
They do. But Oklahoma's after. Oklahoma's like third best odds.
Okay, that's kind of nuts now. Think about. I would expect, honestly, this late in the season, I would expect plus odds, but be closer to plus 100 odds.
Georgia is minus 115. Then it's Bama at plus 275. Ohio State at plus 400. Oklahoma's plus 1,000.
That's wild. Damn.
Yeah.
That is very interesting to think about. That I'm gonna go college football as we stick a part of that. I'm picking Nebraska plus 15.5 against Ohio State. Nebraska, Nebraska has sucked. But Nebraska gave some games to some teams. You know what I mean? They gave some games to some teams, so that makes me worry. I think Ohio State will be a Final Four team if they went out all the way, especially beating Michigan State. That's the toughest game they're going to have left. But I think Nebraska may back to a cover. I don't think this is a blowout game by that much. I'd say the NFL, it's harder to blow teams out by 20-plus points. College football, it's a lot easier to do that. But I think Nebraska could cover.
Yeah.
Plus 15.5 are decent odds for a team that played pretty well, or had the lead against Michigan. Obviously, Michigan isn't the team we all thought, or actually, we didn't think, but some people thought. And Nebraska's had some close games here and there, so I like covering the spread.
It could happen. It also could happen to where this is, if Ohio State, this is kind of that spot. I don't know if you remember, they went to overtime with Maryland in this spot a few years ago, too. So it could be a little bit of a trap, but I have faith in Ohio State with what they've done. Like, C.J. Stroud right now looks like a totally different quarterback than he did in the beginning of the season.
He looks like a different animal, that's for sure.
I got another college football one, but this is just a player prop as well. Kenneth Walker plus 350 for the Heisman right now.
I'm taking that. I already took that. I already took all that.
Yeah,
that's not even a hesitation.
Like some of his stats: 1,194 yards, 175 attempts, 14 touchdowns. He averages 6.8 yards per carry, and well over 120 yards a game with what he's done so far.
The only thing that would make me worry about picking Kenneth Walker for Heisman is if Michigan State's not in the Final Four.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that would make me cause for concern, because I don't know what the percentages are of Heisman winners compared to the top 4, but I would guess a good percentage of the Heisman finalists or Heisman winners have been in the playoff.
At least to be in the conference championship game, he would have a more decent chance than if they lose to Ohio State and then they lose to Penn State too, because they do still have to play Penn State. But right now, Michigan State has Kenneth Walker set up as a very good dark horse candidate for Heisman. What do you have for your last one?
My last one, like I said, I'm riding this train. Rams win the Super Bowl plus 550. I think this Rams defense one of the arguably the most talented defense since the Super Bowl 50 Broncos. I think there's been a few good defenses here and there, but you talk about talent-wise, Hall of Famer-wise, I mean, you talk about Lakeith Talib, who could be a Hall of Famer, DeMarcus Ware's a Hall of Famer, Von Miller's a Hall of Famer, this defense, Aaron Donald will be a Hall of Famer, Jalen Ramsey will be a Hall of Famer, Von's obviously a Hall of Famer. Like, there's studs everywhere on this defense, and I think Stafford just found his niche. Stafford found
Perfect
his niche.
situation. You're playing quarterback for a Sean McVay team, and you have Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods, still really fast as well.
Still gets me fantasy points. I know not as much Scoop Cup, but still gets me fantasy points.
So the Rams right now, I think they're probably the favorite in the NFC outside of the Bucs.
The people right now, they have the Buck. I think the Bucks are the betting favorite. I think Rams are close second to win the NFC.
It's probably either between them or the Packers.
Packers are there. The Cardinals, I think, have the fourth best odds. Obviously, they only have one loss team, but still, losing JJ Watt hurts.
My buddies, the 72 Dolphins, got to pop their champagne finally.
true.
They were probably sweating it out a little bit. They're like, oh, fuck, no, please.
Honestly, when it was the Cardinals, the last team undefeated, they already popped it probably 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, they had it. They just had it chilled and on ice, ready to go. My last one, I talked about the boxing. It's Canelo. Everybody loves Canelo's fights. Caleb Plant plus 500 against Canelo this weekend for the super middleweight unification.
Caleb Plant is
yeah,
I know that name.
Yes.
Yeah, I know that
I've been
name.
watching the Showtime, their preview, like the HBO preview that they have for the HBO boxing. Caleb Plant, very fast hands. He's got a lot of power in his hands too, and this is one of the few times where Canelo is going to be the smaller and slower fighter. Caleb Plant's quick, and he's tall for that weight class. They fight at 168, and I don't know. I think Canelo is probably top 3 pound for pound boxer right now, and probably of this past generation. But Caleb Plant is hungry. He's undefeated. And if he wins this fight, he's the first ever unified super middleweight champion in boxing history.
That'd be great for it. I still think Canelo is that dude, though.
He is.
That's why I worry picking that fight.
I mean, the guy's been a pro since he's been 15 years old. He's only like 30, yet he's fought for 30 years.
Canelo's a little different. Let's just put it that way.
He is different. And Canelo means sugar. He's sweet as sugar. That's all it is. But no, I think Caleb Plant plus 500, that's one of the more realistic underdogs against a Canelo.
That's probably one of the better odds we've ever seen against. I mean, probably the only other person was Triple G. Probably would be the next best odds ever against Canelo, but these are as good as odds as you'll ever see.
Here's the thing. Caleb Plant is going to have to win by a finish, because if it goes to the scorecards, everybody knows that they want Canelo to be the first unified champion, because it's just name and you'll make more money. But
it's boxing. There's always some rubbish shit with the judges.
You never leave it to the judges. Yeah. Tyson Fury should have been KO'd in that last round, and this is me saying this. Tyson Fury should have got KO'd in that 12th round against Deontay Wilder. They gave him an extra 5 seconds to get Wilder over into the corner, and he woke up in that time. Let's go. Let's ride the slope.
I'm going to give you the glasses this time because I have too much on my head right now. So we're going to give you the glasses here. First of all, UFC this past weekend, fantastic. Shout out to fucking GOAT, Hasbulla. Fucking legend. The most legendary photo I've ever seen. I'm making probably...
Do you think he likes getting his head rubbed? Because all those UFC fighters are like giving him a dap and rubbing his head. And like, dude, all I'm thinking is he's 18.
No, he's a 20-year-old. Habib holding him like a little kid in the ring after Makhachev win.
Like a toddler. Yeah.
Oh, this shit had me dying laughing. Dana White taking a picture with him. Oh, he punched Daniel Cormier in the chin. I love it. I love it so much. Hey, the guy, whoever he's supposed to fight, was in the ring. Dana White, just put him on this card. Just do it. Put him on this card.
No, it's in New York. Yeah, they won't be able to do it this week because the commission won't. The commission barely allowed MMA. So
go back to Abu Dhabi in a few weeks and put that on the undercard. Yeah, and I will fucking pay for whatever I can to watch that fight.
You probably get more viewers for that fight than the Ally Quinta fight this weekend. I'm just throwing that out.
Yeah, that's true. All right, well, we got a fantastic card this weekend. We have 2 title fights. Another fight that is basically a title eliminator fight where the winner will face the winner of the next title fight. We have, first of all, I'm gonna start here easy. Gaethje and Chandler over 1.5 rounds. I know, wild. Yep, I'm wild here. Gaethje, I think both these guys have a lot of power, but I think we may see more of a chess match. I don't want to see a chest match. I want to see a motherfucker knock one of them out. And I love both guys.
Yeah.
That's the worst part. That's why I didn't want to pick one of these guys. That's why I took the over 1.5 rounds.
I just want to watch this fight. I think this has the potential for fireworks like Robbie Lawler Covington too.
Oh, this
because these two guys, I think that 1.5 rounds set at the over under. You should probably take the over because both these guys have granite chins. But this is not going to be. These two have wrestling that cancels each other out. Gaethje's a great wrestler, so is Chandler.
Empower them against
These
each other.
dudes just like to throw punches at you, and they like to get punched.
Oh my God.
They just love it.
This has fight of the year all written all over it.
Chandler's going to have probably a shot for KO of the year when he KO'd Dan Hooker from left field.
Oh, that KO still.
It's beautiful.
Head, yeah.
And then he's probably going to have fight of the night and going up against a guy whose nickname is Violence. He's considered one of the most violent men in a sport where you are a literal human cockfight. And you're fighting in a cage in your underwear in front of everybody. Justin Gaethje's the most violent man in that sport.
Yeah, this fight is... Oh, I cannot wait to watch this. It's going to be so much fun. So that's the first one. Minus 135. I know those are bad odds, but that was the only fight that... All the rest of the main card fights are all over minus 3.5. It's a 5-round fight, or minus 2.5. Or with 3-round fights. So I like that minus 1.5 odds. Why not give it to me? So my next one, medium, give me Thug Rose, get minus 115. It's tough to beat a girl twice or beat anyone twice in a row, but I'm taking Thug Rose minus 115. I know that this is the medium, but this is the hot take here. But I'm taking her over Weili. I think Thug Rose is on a mission right now, and Weili. It's the trilogy, right? Or no?
This is the
second fight.
Yeah.
Second fight. And I think Thug Rose. I think Weili has that Joanna Jędrzejczyk fight still in the back of her head, and I think she wasn't determined for this fight. And I think Thug Rose is going to come out and get at her again.
This one, when we talked about it initially, we said that it could probably have a different winner every single time that they fight, and I stand by that. Rose looked really good.
I know. That's why I like 115 odds a lot.
And I thought that it was going to be a knockdown drag out in the first one, and she got the KO early because that Weili fight against Joanna. I mean, Thug lost to Thug had to do a lot to beat Joanna. Mm-hmm. I thought it was going to be closer, but I don't know. I want Weili to win. I
like Thug Rose a lot.
She fights out of Colorado, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. Yeah. That's another reason why. There's only two guys. Two of the top 3 fights are Colorado guys. Mm-hmm. And then finally, the last one, most difficult. You could say this is difficult, kind of leaning toward this way just to happen, because I think there's a good chance of happening. And these are the only positive odds I have in this whole parlay, so that's why I have it difficult. Usman by KO plus 155 versus Covington. Look, he put Masvidal's head on a fucking steak.
That's probably another contender for KO of the year.
Look, the sweat coming off of that man's head.
He knocked his soul out of his body.
It was super necessary. Let's put it that way. And I love Usman a lot. Covington is a fucking dog. He wants us badly. He wants us like no other.
But he also got dominated in the first fight.
That's what I'm saying. So I think Usman by KO. I think Usman wants to have another repeat performance at plus 155. I like those odds. Those odds may change as we get closer because I think we may see that line come down a lot because people are going to love that line. But altogether, all three, Gaethje, Chandler over 1.5, minus 135. Thug Rose, minus 115 against Weili. And then Usman by KO versus Covington, plus 155. Altogether, plus 713. Those are really, really good odds. Hey, all I'm saying, last week, I bet on 7 of the 8, or there was 10 fights. I bet on 7 of the last 8 fights of the UFC card, or I bet on 8 of the last 8 fights and won 7 out of the 8. So all I'm saying is I know what I'm doing. So you might want to bet with me on these UFC fights.
We'll see. Yeah. Ride the slope and be sure to check out MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Use our promo code BENCH to double your first deposit. That's what's in my book for the week.
As you